Miami Dolphins set to start their joint practice tomorrow with the Chicago Bears. Depth chart was released, as well as some interesting points on that depth chart and who's where and who's not. Also, is there a bit of a locker room divide brewing in Miami between some of the big-time figureheads on this football team, Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill? Also, somebody else is balling out that might cause that divide to worsen. Hit the like button on your way in, guys. Let's get right into it.
Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30.
Welcome to the Fins Tailgate. It's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. We live that aqua and orange from the field to the mic. Breaking down the plays, man, we talk it every night. From Tua to the defense, you know we keep it tight. NFL moves, you know we got the insight. We open up the floor, yeah, it's your time to shine. Fans drop the heat with opinions realigned. You got concerns, bring them, we're gonna chime. The Fins Tailgate's where we keep it prime. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. The NFL's changing, but we stay on the grind. Latest breaking stories, we don't waste no time. From the trades to the rumors, we make them all align. At the Fins Tailgate, we always on the climb. We're repping the Dolphins, but it's NFL-wide. From South Beach to the league, we keep it worldwide. Got the fans engaged with the energy supplied. Come kick it at the tailgate, we're riding high tide. Welcome to the Fins Tailgate, it's where we elevate. Miami Dolphins talk, yeah, we never hesitate. Breaking news, hot takes, we keep it up to date. And when the fans speak up, the panel resonates. So if you love the game, you know we got the gate. Tune in, speak out, don't wait. It's your fate, this is the Fins Tailgate. Now watch us dominate. Miami Dolphins, NFL, yeah, we integrate.
Welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Tonight on the tailgate party that never seems to stop, we're going to talk a little bit about this joint practice venture we embarked on. Some good things. I kind of like this. I love joint practices. I like this type of action. It's in preseason games, they're just not what they used to be. And they've been changing every year for years as far as, what preseason football used to be. It used to be like regular games. Now it got to where they play the last game or the second to last game. Now there's only 3 preseason games. Now, really, if you want, a lot of this, a lot of the good starters, matchups and things of that nature, it's these joint practices that are becoming the new trend in the NFL. That is the big time change that I see. I think that's where, a lot of teams are getting in those reps that they're not getting from the preseason anymore. So we'll get into that. Also, the depth chart has been released, and we're gonna break that down. We're gonna look at it. Some interesting little tidbits up in this mug. And also, is there a bit of a divide happening between Tyreek and Tua? And what does that look like? What could this potentially grow into? Because, ever since Tua called out Tyreek, there's been speculation on what he meant by that, and, how the team and him are on the same page and all this stuff, man. There's just so much going on. And the fans, by and large, are pretty much out on Tyreek Hill because they want this team and organization to change. They want accountability. And they want to have Tyreek be the one that this accountability will take place and set a new trend. But I got to say, accountability has not been the strong suit of the Dolphins. And we're gonna talk about this. I got Color in the back. I'm gonna bring him up. He co-hosting tonight. Color back in the building. Shout out to everybody in chat getting in here early. Sean from Red, White, and Bills. What's up, buddy? John Featherland telling everyone to hit the like button. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Michael K in the building. Michael K, I gotta get with you. My brother-in-law wants another one of those. So if you got one, mark me down for another. Dolphineer in the house. What's up, Dolphineer? Good to see you. Shout out to Tonk, the homie, my oldest friend. Who else? Oh, Pete swinging through. What's up, Pete? Yeah, I know we got there's a couple games tonight. There's the I know the Bengals are going tonight. There's the Raiders and Seahawks later tonight. Bengals, I forget who they're going against. And I know I forget who the Ravens are going against as well. But there's a couple of games on tonight. Oh, look who it is. It's CB. Nah, CB, I got the green screen because I'm only home on the weekends. During the week, I'm in South Carolina working. So I use the green screen on the road, and then at home, I'm in my studio or in my back porch doing it now. So hit the like button, guys. Who else up in here? Ghost. What's going on, Ghost? Hit the like button. Anyone watching on X, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, all the other platforms, Cup on a String, wherever you're at, make sure you guys are coming over here and hitting the like button, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and becoming members of this channel. You have to reorder. That's kind of what I figured. So let me know. You mark one down, buddy. Well, without any further ado, color commentary coming at you. Color, what is happening, brother?
Oh, not much, man. Not much. Bunch of drama as always.
Well, it wouldn't be Miami Dolphins football if there wasn't some drama.
Yeah. So we got camp up in Chicago, huh?
So yes, well, let's get right into it, buddy. So, joint practices start tomorrow. Dolphins left today, loading up, getting ready. They're going to Chicago. Now, this isn't just Chicago. This is like a full joint practice tour. They're going to be gone 11 days. They're going to do this with Chicago, stay the remainder of the week, and have a joint practice with the Lions, which I think in both ways. Now we'll get more to the Lions next week in the matchups we want to look at and the type of where we're seeing it. Look, to me, again, preseason is about some of the under guys. Whoa, what's going on? Look at this. What was that?
I don't know.
You see that?
How do I get some of that?
What happened? They do like this? What did that?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and review the tape.
Yeah, what was I doing to get?
Maybe did you form your hands in it? What happened there? What was it?
It was like
like Christmas,
it was like fireworks. It was like fireworks.
Yeah. Oh, like maybe because you threw your hands up like in an explosion or something.
Like this?
Or
I don't know. I know if I do that,
like boom,
it'll throw up. Make sure everybody hits that like button. But crazy. We'll figure it out some other time. But like I said in my opening and the cold open, I love joint practices because it's where you get to have a lot of one-on-one matchups. And like, these coaches, they take really advantage of it too. You're like, hey, I got this rookie corner. I got a guy that's a bubble roster guy at corner. I want to see how he handles Jalen Waddle. You put him in one-on-one matchups and stuff like that. I want to see what this O-line does against your pass rushers. They essentially go ahead and find these good beneficial matchups for both of their squads. And I like it. I think it's the new thing in football, and I like that they're doing it. And I also love the fact that the Dolphins are not just going to the Bears, but they're staying up there with the Lions and going to make a whole road trip out of this thing. And this is team building, baby. Like, it's been a long time since the team as a unit, preseason comes in and hits the road and has a chance to the family stays behind. Everything, it's all business, baby. It's all football. What else you going to be doing? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these guys can get in a little trouble out here, and maybe they will. But it's also, maybe a little something that might, some of the underlying issues that you can't avoid come to life. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see how it rolls.
Yeah, I guess you get to find out who gets left in Chicago. What's up, Linda? How you doing?
Hit the like button, Linda. JB, my guy. What's up, JB? Hit the like button. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how this goes out tomorrow. They're gonna have the joint practice. We're gonna see the videos coming out. I want to see what Kenneth Grant does against their D line. I know they've got some guys on that D line. Let me think. Hold on, I had a note written down. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Something I want to see, because right now, Patrick Paul has been looking amazing. He's been shining. He's on this offensive line that has everybody and their mother, myself included, worried about, everything. They got Jaquan Brisker, who's been really showing out in practice for the Bears. And I want to see what Patrick Paul looks like against this guy. I want to see what whoever's going to be the tackle. I mean, who is it going to be? We've got a literal revolving door for right tackle right now. They're going to be trying out a bunch of guys. Is somebody going to step up and solidify themselves as someone that can be counted on? Our getting a look at, Nick Westbrook-Akeen and, Malik Washington and Taj Washington on some different DBs, getting the DBs that we have, which Storm Duck and Sheffield. Those
looking at the DBs that we don't have up in Chicago.
Maybe a little bubble roster guy. Hey, is this guy gonna make it? Can I snag him? Yeah. And a little bit of collusion happening.
No, but our wide receivers should be challenged pretty well this week.
Well, it's not just that they're going to be challenged, but it's also good to, for the Bears. If you're the Bears, you're like, hey, you're getting an opportunity in non-live fire exercise, something that could cost you. This is a learning experience. You get to go against top tier talent like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and test your grit, find your mettle, and the Bears got to be grateful to have that opportunity.
Yeah, and guys like our younger wide receivers, or lesser wide receivers, and even Jalen Waddle can go against the likes of top-notch DBs like Tyreek Stevenson.
Linda asks us if we think they'll win the first game, the preseason game. I'm not really. I'm indifferent to that. Probably, I would rather them lose all their preseason games, because that seems to be the trend that the better
winning
teams
really
do.
Means, does your first squad outperform their first squad? Is really what winning means in a preseason.
Or not their first squad, their backup squad, right?
Well, I mean, like if let's say if both teams are going to play their first guys like the first quarter, then whoever wins the first quarter is winning the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'll be interested to see, how a lot of these matchups come out and who gets the better of whom and all that stuff, right? We're going to see a lot of it, because I don't expect to see Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua, any of the, solidified start. I don't expect to see Patrick Paul. I don't expect to see any of the solidified starters, at least preseason week 1. Right? Maybe they'll come out week 2 or week 3, or the final week, I should say, for preseason. So I would say that, and what, you're going to see them maybe a half, depending on how they perform, potentially less if they perform really well, because it's not about wins and losses in the preseason. It's about working things out. And plus, why would you, just gamemanship alone, why would you show your hand? Why would you, go out there and run some stuff that you could have ran week 1? You know what I'm saying? I want that saved for the Colts. That's what I'm trying to do. Cliff says Bears are 3.5-point favorites. That's because you get 3 points at home, and it's a preseason game, so there's the other half. I would say whatever the total is, and I guarantee you the point total is probably somewhere around 39. It's under 40. It's 39, 38 point total. Bet the under. Bet the under. So, unless, I don't know, maybe Zach Wilson and or Quinn Ewers lights it up. We'll get into that a little bit later on about Quinn Ewers. So, yeah, joint practices with the Bears coming up. I'm excited. A lot of things to look forward to with these key matchups against, their top-tier players, against players we're trying to find out answers about. And we got a rookie, Kenneth Grant. We got Jonah Sanaya, or Sanawaya. I can't freaking say his name. We want to see what he looks like in live action against some of these other guys. And, I'm sure, I know the Bears had a terrible offensive line last year. Good for them to have the Dolphins with Zach Sealer and, Jalen Phillips and Chop Robinson and Bradley Chubb. They're going to have they're going to give them all kinds of look and all kinds of work for them to find out what they need to know about their offensive line after a turnover this offseason to protect Caleb Williams. So, all in all, good stuff. So, next up, we got the depth chart came out. So, I got it right here. Here is the depth chart. Now, let's just look here at the offense. We'll start with just the offense here. Nothing to sneeze at. We know Tyreek Hill is wide receiver 1. Down at the bottom here is wide receiver 2 and Jalen Waddle. You got Devon Achane as the number 1 running back. Alec Ingold as number 1 fullback. Austin Jackson as number 1. I mean, there's no surprises here from Patrick Paul, the second round pick, Jonah, Aaron Brewer at center, Daniels, who we got in free agency, Austin Jackson. But here's the thing. Darren Waller is slotted in to be the number 1 tight end on this depth chart. Now, Darren Waller, who hasn't been practicing. He's been trying to get himself into game shape, as he says, right? How is he given the keys to the kingdom already? He's literally earned nothing. Now, I know that the other day when we played this, Drew Rosenhaus saying that, hey, he fully expects him to be there week 1. And then the following day they said, he's ahead of the timetable and should be practicing here directly. Did he go with the team? He had to have, right? He had to have flown with the team. I haven't seen any designations of them taking him off the PUP because they put him on the PUP list. I'm just wondering, right? Is he gonna participate in this joint practice tomorrow? Is he gonna participate in this preseason game? I guess you really wouldn't want him to if he's the starter. But again, how can the guy be the starter? And he's literally not taking snaps with the guys. He's on PUP. He cannot play. He is designated on the PUP list. He cannot practice with the team. It's against league rules. So how are you putting him in as the slotted starter when he has had 0 chemistry time with the team thus far? Explain that to me, Color. How's that even possible? How does that even work?
Anything's possible with this team, bro.
Anything.
You just have to make believe.
So next up, behind Tyreek Hill, we've got Malik Washington. Behind Patrick Paul is Larry Borum. Liam Eichenberg slotted in as the backup left guard, who's on the PUP. Andrew Meyer, who's still kind of injured, backup center. Brunskill, who's the guy that's been actually getting a little bit of hype in practice. I'm hearing some good things about Brunskill. I know they had Keon Smith trying at right guard, but he's just not been good. And Brunskill pretty much pushed him out, which I always thought Keon Smith was a better tackle anyhow. And he's doing just fine there, according to beat reporters on site. Julian Hill as the backup, which whatever. I kind of find it funny that Pharaoh Brown is the third on that, but we'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Zach Wilson, backup quarterback, and then the number 4 receiver or number 3 receiver behind Jalen Waddle is Westbrook Akine. But interesting, right? Jalen Wright is the number 2 running back. Now, upon draft status, expectations, and what you would want to see on this depth chart, you would want to see Jalen Wright there. Problem is, I don't care what anybody.
Number?
Yes, he did. He did change his number. Problem is, I don't see how Jalen Wright is beating out Madison in any stretch of the imagination. Madison, by all accounts, has been tough as hell, really good.
Well, this is preliminary. I mean, this is the first one. This is likely, in Mike McDaniel's mind, how he wants and perceives things to be now, or let's say in certain positions, how he wants things to be. You know what I mean? Based on age, contract, future, potential, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Pecking order when it comes to, are you seen as a long-term asset? You know what I mean? That type of thing. Factor all that in. This is Mike McDaniel's idea of how he wants things. He wants Jalen Wright to beat out Madison. You see what I'm saying? He wants Julian Hill and Farrell Brown to beat out Connor. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Like,
no, I agree. This is his hopeful. This is his wish list.
Right. Take for instance, let me find another example. God, I don't even see one there. But like maybe Waddle and then Westbrook and then Eskridge. I mean, based on some people's impression of Kent, you know, Eskridge is outperforming Westbrook. You know what I mean? So, but I think that Westbrook was brought in as a veteran and all that to be kind of where Mike McDaniel has him slotted at right now on the depth chart. So this is like Mike McDaniel's idea of how he wants it to be.
And, you know, look, I'm sure you know, there's been some context.
I mean, some of it's accurate, some of it's based on reality, but this is like, you know, ideally, if Mike McDaniel, this is what he thinks about the guys and all their potential and currently how they're performing.
Yeah, if everyone was healthy on this and they were rolling out,
right, and
all things being perfect,
supposed to beat out, you know what I mean?
This is how they would anticipate their roster to look. Now, I have a problem with that because think of it like anything, dude. It's like anything in life. When the list is put up, when you put out a Fugazi list, then what's it all even for? Because I'm sorry, you're sending the wrong message.
I didn't mean to give the impression that it was Fugazi or anything.
But it kind of is, because I'm sorry, if you're going to roll out and say this was week 1 against the Bears and you've got Achane coming in and then you're going to just let Jalen Wright be the guy.
I got you.
Know what I'm saying?
This is also expressing to the team some of his expectations. In other words, this is saying to Jalen Wright, this is what I expect.
Nah, bro, to hell with that. When the list comes out to who's starring what in the movie or play, and here's the understudies, it's the list. Anything short of that is Fugazi. It's just, I mean, why don't you just give me all the players' names? It doesn't make sense. Like, to me, if you really wanted to be smart, you would have Madison over Jalen Wright and have that to kind of incentivize him to be better. that this can change. You know what
unless
I'm saying?
unless it's the reverse and he wants Madison to feel the pressure.
I don't think. I mean, Madison's a friggin'
A veteran, right?
a veteran. You know
He
that
needs to
he
be
came
feeling
in here. He came in here.
on his
You know,
third
as a free
team.
agent guy. So
Yeah, on his third team. He's the one that needs to be feeling the pressure. Jalen Wright could fail in Miami and still have 3 other teams to try things out. The guy's got the goods.
Well, all right then. Let's get into a little bit more of these other guys. So here's where it kind of gets a little dicey, I think. Behind Malik Washington, effectively the 5th guy on the depth chart is Eric Ikuzama. Taj Washington behind him. I mean, to me, that's
see what I'm saying? This is kind
that's
of
Taj's job, dog. Eric
right.
Ikuzama has done nothing.
But
And I'm not
Easy,
trying to disrespect the
Easy,
young man.
the weird thing is Easy E has more of the characteristics of Westbrook. He should be where Eskridge is at. And
Estridge should be there. You're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely and Taj should be there too. Because if I'm gonna substitute
Taylor Waddle
out,
should be too, and one of the bigger receivers should be our number 1 wide receiver too.
well, but I'm thinking right. If I'm gonna take Tyreek Hill off the field, and I'm thinking size, profile, speed, ability, I'm having Taj Washington come in for him. You know what I'm saying? I guess Malik Washington as
just
well.
like Malik,
Yeah.
just like Malik, and just like Waddle. That's what I'm saying. Waddle is out of position, dude, for his skill set, man. That's probably why he has the issues he does with dropping, cradling, trying to cradle the catches and all that. He's just not. He's not a perimeter receiver, dude.
And here's the thing. I don't see Eric Ikuzama over Estridge or Taj Washington. And I got to imagine that the Dolphins are going to keep 6. And to me,
he probably still has this fantasy that Izukama is going to be a Debo Samuel type. You know what I mean?
I get that, but he's just not. I don't know why.
He'd be better off as a perimeter, tall, big body receiver.
I said this when we drafted
like a Westbrook Westbrook Akine, or that's the only one we got really.
Pretty much, yeah. Or Armstrong is. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Armstrong.
Hill,
I'm worried about Armstrong being
the wide receiver,
a roster.
Hill.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right. No, I always said, listen, when we got Eric Ikuzama, they need to put that man with the tight ends. That's what they should do. They should transfer him to a tight end. Get him some weight, get him good at blocking, understanding the blocking schemes, and have him as a tight end.
What you just said is the exact inverse. Either make Easy a tight end or make Julian Hill a perimeter big body wide receiver.
Something. Julian Hill needs to get the hell off this team, personally. I don't know, maybe he could show out, maybe he can get back to a little bit of, but I mean, he got so many targets as a rookie. I don't know. To me, Durham Smythe is head and shoulders above Julian Hill, and I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. And we'll see Durham Smythe, who's with the Bears this week, so tomorrow.
Yeah, well, and don't forget though. I mean, it's not like Julian Hill is going to be, is going to be. I'm sorry, it's not like Easy E's going to be blocking anybody anytime soon, like a tight end.
That's the problem. This is his 3rd year. He should be freaking laying boys out.
Yeah, but
he's laying fools out.
Still ain't going to lay boys out like a tight end would on a linebacker. I mean, not unless you're talking about a crackback, which is not really legal anymore.
I mean, look, fullback, tight end. He could be how you have tight ends that double as fullbacks, having that hybrid role, as to you can have him be the 3rd wide receiver to tight end hybrid role.
He's soft, bro.
He's soft.
Yeah,
and I feel bad because I had really high hopes for the kid. I think he's like a really nice kid. And I know he's a little young, but I'm sorry, dude. So again, then we got guys like T Black, Armstrong, which I can't believe Armstrong's that far down on the depth chart. Baldwin, Weeze Jr. Is that Weeze Jr.? West Jr.? I don't know. And Henny, bunch of guys that we'll probably see plenty of in the preseason. Well, these are the names you guys need to look for. McKenzie, who's the backup left tackle right now. He's been a guy who's been putting up some, doing some good stuff. Carmen, who's a guy we had around here before.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool seeing that P Brown in the middle of the depth chart. That's pretty cool, dude. Little Paul Brown.
Yeah. Some of these other guys like B. Daniels and these other guards and tackles. Well, these are the guys that are going to be rolling out in the fourth quarter, playing the end of the game, probably with Ewers at the end of it. Ollie Gordon, the rookie, in the back of the depth chart, how things probably should be. Can he? I mean, could when it's all said and done and come week one, could it be Madison, Ollie Gordon, and Jalen Wright as far as the order in which it goes? Obviously, all of them behind Achane.
I don't understand. I mean, I get that Achane's the man. I get it, bro. You know what I mean? But we all know that he's not like. I don't think it would. I don't think it would. Like, in other words, with the way we are planning on utilizing Achane, is he a number one running back, or is he just like? Yeah, no. What I mean is, like, is he just like a playmaker? And like, so in other words, nobody would be alarmed if you wanted to get an idea of the three real running backs that you got. I should say, body type wise, if you wanted to organize them in rank and all that, and just float Devon Achane wherever, nobody's like if he put Achane in the fourth spot, so we could all get a clear picture of the pony race between Wright, Madison, and Gordon. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Would be alarmed if Achane was just penciled in the fourth spot, so we could get a clearer picture of who's leading the race and the real running back. Not that Achane's not a real running back. It's that he's going to have so many other roles that to pin him as just a raw running back, and even the body type of a raw running back. No. He if he was running back only, he'd be Tavon Austin at best.
So I
would be beat down in no time. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, for real.
Yeah, remember when they used Tavon Austin at the running back position? He had like freaking 240 yards and he played running back. He did receiver. He did everything on that college team.
A workhorse running back, but that slot that he's penciled in right there means to me like workhorse running back.
So I think this, right? If they came out week one and had Achane not as the RB1 on the depth chart for the starting of the day, it would not surprise me in the slightest. But it would
make the freak.
Hold on. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest is if the offense came out series one, snap one, and they've got Madison in the backfield, but the three wide receivers are Hill, Waddle, and Achane.
Right. Or
you know what I'm saying?
Running back that's just out in the slot or something. You know what I mean?
Or flexed out wide for a matchup for mismatch on matchups.
But McDaniel knows that if he pencils Achane anywhere else but where he's at right there, freaking Twitter would flip out, dude.
Well, I mean, it's sensible. He is a running back, right? But all right, let's continue. Ryan Hayes.
If Jalen Wright lives up to his potential, he's 10 times the running back Achane.
Yeah, Jalen Wright, as a running back in between the tackles and bouncing it inside and outside, he could be the best running back on there.
Yeah, he could. That's what I mean. Like, we're using Achane in a way that exemplifies all of his attributes.
What's this style of offense, though, too?
Some of that includes being the running back on first down and taking it a halfback dive. Yes, I'm not saying Achane can't do that stuff. I'm just saying,
if Achane on the Dolphins
for 3 years, man, come on.
In this Mike McDaniel West Coast offense, right, this timing offense, Achane is a RB1. But if you took Achane and put him on, like, say, the Ravens, He is the
Right.
third down scat back, and he has a limited role.
Right. Our running back depth chart is to say who's got the most mastery of Mike McDaniel's system right now. That's what that's saying. And it makes
Pretty much.
sense because Jalen Wright's been in here a year longer than Madison. Ollie Gordon's a rookie. Madison's worked in a West. So it works out perfect. Like Achan's been here the longest. He knows McDaniel's system more than anybody. Jalen Wright is going on his second season. Madison just got in the building. Gordon just got in the building, plus he's a rookie. So the lineup makes sense if you go from the perspective of who knows the system the best.
Honestly,
and I'm sorry, real quick. Who knows the system the best is a synonym for who does Mike McDaniel trust the most to execute the play at a high level.
I don't even think it's that, Color. I don't even think it's that. I think that in the most simplistic way, if they released the depth chart in the offseason after all the additions were made before camp started, this is what it would look like. This is what the depth chart would look like.
That's what I'm saying. Simply because of experience in the building, trust from McDaniel, ability, obviously. If Achan sucked, then obviously it wouldn't matter. He wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? But we know that ain't true. So my point is that like right now it's about which of these four guys, if there was a play called, is going to execute the play at the highest percentage. And that's the order of the backs we're looking at right now. Achan, Wright, Madison, Gordon.
So I want to look at the tight ends, right? Obviously, Waller slotted in at number 1, Julian Hill, number 2, Pharaoh Brown, number 3. And then we get into the other guys, Tanner Connor, Hayden Rucci, and the Myrick guy is somebody who we had here before and brought him back in here, familiar with the team. He was here, I want to say in 2023. I can't remember. Yeah, I think he was here in 2023. Tanner Connor's been showing up and showing out, especially in the red zone. Him and Tua seem to be kind of finding a little bit of a connection there. Hayden Rucci, I go back and watch this kid's highlights. He doesn't have a lot of targets, but everything that's thrown his way, he catches. And he's just a monster. He's so big. I really just, it hurts me because Hayden Rucci, I think, would be a great tight end, but I don't think, because he doesn't possess the speed, finesse type thing that Mike McDaniel, really wants. That's why they got Pharaoh Brown in here, who isn't, I don't think he has the size profile of Hayden Rucci. It's definitely not the weight, but does to have done in this offense where you would typically ask a Hayden Rucci to do that. I just still think, the best tight ends I've ever seen are always the dudes that are big, have a little bit of sneaky speed, and when you're not thinking about them and they catch that ball and they're in the secondary because someone missed an assignment, he chip blocked and leaked out and sits there and there's no one around, he starts getting, then you ask safeties and DBs to tackle a 240, 260 pound tight end who just wants to, they're stiff arming the hell out of them. They're blowing them up. These small 5'9" to freaking, 6 foot, 190 pound corners are like, son of a bitch, I got to tackle this freaking monster. And you just beat the hell out of them with it. You just take these giant body monsters with all this weight, and maybe it was only a freaking 5-6 yard gain, but the beating he's putting on the corner that took him, again, the gamesmanship has just got to be a little bit more foresight, I think. Use a gentleman like that, like Hayden Rucci, have him leak out and beat up on the nickel corner or the safety, and then right after he just had to, get laid up and the guy's fixing his pads and stuff, now have that guy be the second guy in the scheme to catch Tyreek Hill or Waddle, or get him to bite on a Tyreek Hill coming up, and you got Taj Washington going deep, and who's Taj Washington had literally in college, he had a perfect passer rating for passes over 20 yards. I want to see that kid just open up down there. But my point is that I'm hoping Mike McDaniel hasn't gotten so bogged down in all the things that happen and you want to have happen in this offense, and rather than the pivot type of stuff that you want to counterpunch with, because that's been the problem with this team. No counterpunch. Yeah, okay, we got all this speed. Yeah, we got all this finesse. We got all this stuff. Well, when teams sink down and they overload the front seven and they're tightening up all the windows and their pass rush is getting there and Tua don't have enough time or whatever to look to the second level, or you're trying to keep everything within this 6-8 yard bubble, you've got no counterpunch. You can't, okay, well, if they're going to do that, then let's run power on them. Let's try to get them to bite this way. We've got none of that stuff. We keep saying we're going to do that, but every year it's just, well, can we tweak this a little bit more and have some guys waiting in the wing that can be the counterpunch? The problem is they're not running this counterpunch type of offense often enough to be effective in it. When you call it in a game, we need to do this. Well, they ain't done it in 2 games. Now you want to freaking start doing it all of a sudden. Hopefully some of this stuff changes, right? Doubtful. Let's slide over to the defense real quick, because not a lot of surprises here, other than I don't know. There's a couple things, right? Let's just start with the let's start with the defensive ends. Right now Chop Robinson slotted in as the number 1, and it's kind of weird because obviously they're not gonna. I doubt that they're gonna have Chop Robinson, Zach Sealer. The formations of the defense don't make sense when you look at the starters and all that stuff. What's going on here? Anyhow, Chop Robinson, Mo Kamara behind Chop Robinson at the defensive end spot. That's good to see. I know McLendon has been putting on some good tape, but Mo Kamara still keeping him at bay. I think we all had high hopes when we acquired him last year. Hopefully that's a guy I'm looking at. I want to see in the preseason. Zach Sealer, obviously number 1 at the defensive tackle position. Kenneth Grant as the relief pitcher. I think we'll see Kenneth Grant and Zach Sealer in some packages as well. Butler behind him and Stilley behind that. Benito Jones is slotted as the second defensive tackle. And shout out to Benito Jones, who by all accounts has slid into a leadership role and, really taken some of the young guys under his wing and coaching them up and not feeling like what could potentially be, hey, I might get cut around here and stuff. Benito Jones, who's been quietly solid, and a really good depth piece for the Dolphins the last few years. I mean, the guy is just stuck around. When he's out there, you don't notice a dip in play. You see him when he gets some plays in there. He'll stuff the run, all that good stuff. Phillips behind him, Dickerson behind that, and Biggers way down on the depth chart down there, the rookie we drafted this year. What do you think the thinking is behind that, Color? Having Biggers essentially be the 7th or 8th defensive tackle on the depth chart.
Well, I think we quickly found ourselves kind of, with a plethora of D tackles.
It's true.
And he's, rookie again.
Yeah, I guess.
Unless you're like, I don't know. It's hard to get penciled in at the top as a rookie, bro, unless that's specifically why you were drafted. You know what I mean? And even if, like in the lower positions, even if you are drafted for that purpose, they still kind of, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying, right?
So Pete's saying Anthony Richardson's got popped and he looks hurt in the game with the Colts that are playing right now. That's crazy. Keep us posted on that. And he's also asking, is Tua playing Sunday? I don't think so. I would say don't play Tua at all in the preseason just because you know what his injury history is like. I know he says he wants to play and all. I would not play him at all. It's just not necessary. How much more do you need to see from him in this offense with these weapons, Color?
Yeah, at this point, him wanting to play is just because he wants the fans
it's fodder
about it. You know what I mean?
Fodder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
shout out to everybody in chat.
He needs to be practicing every single day of his life. So if he's not doing that, who cares if he plays preseason at this point?
Shout out to everybody in chat who made it in here. Bethune, hit the like button. Delusional Patriots fan sliding in here. Jermaine, the ghost one. Sup, dog?
Yeah, Carla. I think
Carla, who's talking crazy. She's afraid aliens are gonna, come here and by October. I get it. I know what you're talking about. They said they've seen a ship coming towards them. People are saying it's an asteroid.
October, huh?
You know what I say? I say it doesn't matter because if it's heading this way, we've got no ability to stop it, and we'll deal with it in October, right? Finn's Rule in here. What's up, Finn's Rule? Hit the like button, brother. Jermaine getting in here. Chris Smith sliding in finally. What's up, Chris? Mondo, what's good, Doc? Oh, Fred. Go, Fred. Where you been, Fred? Fucking love Fred. Carla, I listen, don't be tripping on it, but like let's not put the cart before the horse. It could be some bullshit on a lens or something. I don't care about none of that. Now, here's the thing, and I'll slide side subject, right, Carla? They're saying there's a ship coming, blah, 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 blah. Is this finally where they bring out the fake aliens and get the world to fight everything and blow a bunch of stuff up for the false flag of all false flags with fake aliens to finally get us to connect together as a one world against some opposition? Because I always said, if you want world peace, then we need aliens to invade so we can all band together to go fight something else. Until then, we're just going to fight each other. So that's it. All right, let's not get on all that. Dotson at the starter, K. Britt behind him. I think he'll end up making the team as well. The Dolphins finding themselves for the first time since I can't remember with a plethora of standing inside linebackers. Not just good ones that play the run, but ones that play the pass. We know Dotson did well. We know freaking Jordy Brooks is killing it. And Willie Gay Jr. has showed up and showed out every single day he has been with the team. Every single day. You can't read a report about the Dolphins and not see his name come up. Or it's either, Willie Gay on this play, or it's Willie Gay with back-to-back plays. You don't ruin the whole series. The guy is killing it. So Asante behind Britt and Jackson behind him, and then Channing Tindall sits far as what would be the sixth man. Channing Tindall got to get up out of here, dog. We got too much talent and need too many things. Take Channing Tindall out of here and give that roster spot to an offensive lineman, whether it's one we've got or one we need to get, or give it to corner, please, God. So Jalen Phillips, obviously in the starter. Quinn Bell still in there, kicking it. And then Cameron Good, Color's favorite color. Could this be the year Cameron Good gets clipped? Do they end up,
Well, I mean, he's got to beat out Quentin Bell or Channing Tindall.
Well, there's a couple of guys I'm thinking about, right? I don't think he has to beat out Channing Tindall. I think Channing Tindall, if the Dolphins are smart, I'll tell you what.
He's already done that.
If Cameron Good is not on this roster, but Channing Tindall is, I'm going to blow a gasket. I'm going to lose it because Channing Tindall has just never lived up to any expectations, and everything that everyone was worried about pre-draft profile has been the exact problem the entire time.
Well, you notice we have two regular, like they're not really calling them There's not a second set
I know.
of
Yeah, I know.
outside linebackers. We're either going to cover that with D tackles or
Or the
put two of
DNs.
our outside linebackers on the field at the same time. So I think that when it comes to pass rush specialists, none of the guys that are the three guys that are in the OLB category are those guys. They work out with the pass rusher group: Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, those guys. The other guys all work out with together in a group for things like pass coverage and all that. That doesn't mean we don't send our outside guys into pass coverage. It means that just they don't the guys in the other group don't practice the pass rushing and all that.
Well,
And like the edge rushing, you know what I mean?
I mean, we know
What I'm
defensively,
saying
outside linebacker and DN
Well,
have kind of
what I'm
melded
saying
into position.
What I'm saying is until Chubb returns, if at all.
Well, Chubb's slotted in as the starter right now, Color, for DN.
Well, yeah, but he's not on the depth chart. Oh, for
he is.
DN.
He's right
I
there.
see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
see
So,
him?
yeah. So okay. So yeah, you see what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
good
They-
Good can back up Bell and Phillips because Bell may have to be in place of Chubb on a double outside linebacker set. You know what I mean?
100% I
So
completely
Good has
agree
to
with
be
you.
good to go. No pun intended. You know what I mean? He has to
Good.
be.
I think Good is
locked in.
competing. I think Good is closer competing. I think Bell is on this team. He's a leader. They signed him for some money. They want him here.
Now, keep in mind, before Good's injury, he was like
He did all right. So I think
he was right behind Jalen Phillips. You know what I mean?
I think where Cameron Good is really fighting against these guys, it's Grayson Murphy, Mo Kamara, Cameron Good. These are the dudes that are fighting to be on the perceptive DN / outside linebacker depth chart, be behind Chubb, Robinson.
Well, where's Kamara?
Phillips,
the other DE spot. Okay, yeah.
Chubb, Robinson, Quentin Bell, all those guys are all ahead and on a perceptive pass. We'll call it all pass rushers to make it a little easier. So on a perceptive pass rushers,
right. So you're right. You're right. I mean, Good might have his work cut out for him, bro. But
he's got his work cut out for him.
I think he could. He has the ability to rise up.
Shout out to the homie Craig with his $5 donation. He says, "I think the offensive coordinator is going to have nightmares about this front seven." I completely agree. I mean, look, when we're looking at depth chart, Cameron Good, and he could be a cap casualty because of guys like, Mo Kamara and Grayson Murphy, and the extent that maybe they want to keep an extra D tackle, so they keep like the Jordan Phillips guy that we got. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this defense, not only starting the starters minus the cornerback room, and we're going to get to that next, that front seven of starters and depth is ridiculous, bro.
Right. Well, look how many guys. Look how many guys between our OLBs, our DTs, and our DEs. Look how many of those guys could be the best edge rusher on any other team,
or at least be
like
the third guy
like
on
a
a
really
lot of teams.
deadly edge rusher on another team. Like if that was their only edge rusher, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
there's like 4 or 5 of these guys that could be that guy on another team.
If Mo Kamara, Grayson Murphy, and Cameron Good were, one of those guys was a starter and the other two were your backups, and you had like a perceptive, like elite pass rusher, like I don't know, say Micah Parsons, and those were the other 3 guys, because you have kind of cap restrictions with that unit. No one would bat an eye at that lineup, and that those were the 4 guys you were going to have as your pass rushers coming in. So they would say, yeah, it makes sense. And you wouldn't feel so bad when a Mo Kamara came up there, or a Cameron Good. So yeah, they're really, really deep in that position. I don't know anything about Huntley, who's behind Grayson Murphy, just like I just don't know enough about him. So, and I'm pretty certain that's Malcolm Butler, who's going to be the cap casualty kind of guy, because we got the Phillips in the draft, so the rookie. Right. So I think that's where they'll get. But I don't know. It's been really looked at by Anthony Weaver by all the moves in the offseason that they are. It's the D line, it's the it's the edge rushers, how in which the entirety of the where Brian Flores was all about 2 lockdown corners and moving pieces and creating design blitzes and 0 blitzes with the rest of the guys. It's more on the lines that I want all of my organic pressure to come with my front 4 and maybe send a 5th guy. I want my front 7 to lock everything up so my corners, have A, more time, B, whatever, that they're less likely to have problems. It's just no one can debate on where the stuff went in. And we can look at the corners, right? Right now, slotted in at number 1 and number 2 as your top 2 corners is Sheffield, who I told you he's been showing up and showing out and doing pretty good in practice. Storm Duck. Behind him is Jones and Ethan Bonner. And then behind Ethan Bonner is the rookie we got from Florida, Marshall, which I'm still looking to see him. I want to watch him in preseason. And Cam Smith, the 2nd rounder. So Jones, we got, that's the guy from Jack Jones. We got him from the Raiders. So he's definitely in there at the cornerback position. Ethan Bonner, everybody knows Ethan. That's White Lightning. So my point is that Cam Smith sliding as a 2nd round pick just a short few years ago, sliding behind the likes of Storm Duck, Ethan Bonner, Sheffield, Jones, him being put, the value of the 2nd round pick that we got out of Cam Smith is measured to the value we just got Marshall from Florida in the 5th round for. That is not good. The writing is on the wall. And a unit in which you needed him to step up and do some shit, this kid has slid. I'm over it. Look what Lou said. He says, "Who gets the talent for all them? Who gets the credit for all that talent at pass rusher?" Well, I mean, you ain't get no pushback on me, baby. That's Chris Greer, huh, son? Again, I don't know why Chris Greer gets all the hate. I'm about it. Chris Greer has kept his team flush with talent.
With naming the guys.
Chris Greer has kept this team flush with talent. Now, you could say all you want about the results, but it ain't like he isn't getting, lobster and couscous and
Hey, Lou, I'm still collecting the bronze, bro, and the copper, bro. I ain't giving up. I'm still amassing this pile over here. I just got to get somebody to sculpt the statue.
Oh yeah. So Minkah Fitzpatrick in there as the starter at safety. Elijah Campbell, who he's on the team. Everybody knows that. Alston Davis, who's I don't know if he's going to be ready. I know Melifanu is healthier now. We're probably going to see him. I know Davis has been working it in. I wonder what they'll do there. All 4 of those guys.
And by the way, I'm sorry, Pat, just to further that point earlier, if somebody came to me 10 years from now and said, "Hey, the only reason you were able to get the defense that you got right now is because you suffered through Tua," hey, let's build the statue for Greer, man. I just still
no, I don't like none of that. I didn't like that take, Color. I would say there's no statue
that
for
contract made it possible for us to start building the defense we're building now, and whatever.
I mean, if it becomes the number 1 defense in all categories and this team is riding them to deep into the playoffs, then maybe we could talk about statues. Right now, it's just really good talent that's not really taken us far because of the inability to put up good numbers offensively. Look, I get it. It's not the defense's fault, but I don't care. You still lose as a team. Elijah Campbell has Deontay Trader behind him, and then Saunders Jr., who's, just whatever. Patrick McMorris.
If somebody else finds himself as our head coach, half his job is already done,
So I'm really kind of looking at, there's the nickel boundary guy or nickel corner. They got Mike Hilton there. Cordell Armstrong, who we brought in out of retirement, lining up right behind him. Isaiah Johnson, E. Robinson. You got Colbert, that's behind Morris. I'm looking at all these guys. We know Campbell can play nickel. We know Patrick McMorris, who we brought in here. I'm pretty certain he can play down in the nickel. I don't think they'd like him to be that. I think they want him to play more of a strong. But
I like Hilton sliding right into that number one nickel spot, man.
I mean, it makes sense. I agree with it. But I gotta imagine,
is that where Cater would have been, or
yeah, I guess, right? Yeah, I would say, that would be exactly where Cater would be.
Or would he be in Storm Duck's position?
Probably, because they probably have him, or Sheffield. He'd probably be in Sheffield's position because they want him to be.
That would have been sweet, dude, to have Hilton as a number one nickel and Cater Kohu on the field. Oh my God, dude! Who's picking up a medium range third down on that, dude?
Oh no, who's running? Who's running? On the outside,
right? Exactly.
That's
who's kicking the flank on that, bro? Jesus.
Yeah. Who's running on that?
Follow it up with our inside linebacker would be on that would be like Dodson or somebody. Yeah, right, bro. Oh, I'm liking
you'll have Willie Gay and Brooks both out on there in the center. And then guess what? You make the mistake because they'll probably have Kenneth Grant as like the plug in the middle next to Sealer in that situation.
To flush everybody to the outside.
To flush everybody to the outsides.
And we already know Phillips is pretty or not Jalen Phillips, but who was
Chop
it?
Robinson?
No, we had a guy. I don't know if we still got him. Who is it?
I don't know, but make the mistake of trying to fake the run and
that was Van Ginkel. We lost Van Ginkel.
Yeah, I miss him. But make the mistake of trying to fake the run and throw while you have Chop Robinson and Jalen Phillips as your edge setters in that formation, because one of them boys is getting home. Right. And if not, you got to step up in the pocket. Good luck getting away from Zach Sealer, who's just praying that these outside boys push you towards him, because he'll reach out and snag you.
And you can see what we're trying to do here.
I can absolutely
we're trying to stop two guys. There are two guys we're trying to stop with this configuration, and it's the same way we stopped one of them when Flores was still here, and that would be one, Lamar Jackson, and two, Josh Allen.
Yes, because
all of this is designed to not let Josh Allen leak up the middle. To flush everything to the outside where Lamar Jackson is deadly.
Force him to the outside and then
to seal up the flank when he gets there.
Yep. Josh Allen those standing and those standing inside linebackers going to eat.
Right. And when you talk about the likes of Dodson, go head up with Dodson, Josh Allen. I'm begging you to. Put your head down on Dodson and let's see what happens. Let's let the helmets crack where they may.
I gotta imagine, right, that Mike Hilton, Davis, Fitzpatrick, Campbell, all these guys are all gonna play nickel, and they're all gonna play both safety positions. And at any given moment, you're not gonna know if Patrick McMorris is playing the nickel or if he's just down up in there and then going to drop back into coverage.
Right. And I bet Hilton can fall back into coverage too. I bet Hilton ain't no slouching coverage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he'll be the solo safety sitting in the middle of the field because you got Minka Fitzpatrick trying to jump a route underneath.
Instead of having our edge rushing guys and linebackers a la Phillips and all them falling back into coverage. You know what I mean?
Well, they're going to ask, like Minka Fitzpatrick and Melifonwu and Campbell and stuff like that to be those safeties that kind of
forgot all about Minka lurking back there as a safety.
I know. Well, they're gonna have these guys as this is what I perceive as helping out on the outsides, pushing everything in for Storm Duck, Sheffield, Ethan Bonner.
Do you think as shaky as our secondary seems to people and all that and whatever else? Because a lot of it's unknown.
Well, I don't know.
Well, a lot of it's unknown potential, but for the core group of guys that we do know about, this is strong, bro.
I agree.
This is really
I'm
strong, man.
I am extremely interested to see how Weaver puts this together. I see. I have a vision of what I could potentially guess is exactly that. You're going to create organic pressure. You're going to keep things forced to the middle unless you want to force them to the outsides by design. And you're going to have a rotation between your nickel and your two safety positions.
Right.
So no one knows at any given moment. You could have the same three guys in there, but in the next three snaps, each one of them gets a turn at nickel by any stretch of the by whatever happens. The real test will be asking guys to go heads up. Well, they're all going to try to play zone as much as humanly possible, but you're asking guys like Storm Duck and Sheffield to really just keep everything in front of you, keep the down and distance manageable, and when we get ourselves in a third and advantageous situation, we're going to see. But also, they don't have to cover as much with these linebackers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you got Dotson out there and Willie Gay out there or Brooks or whomever, those guys are really good at playing with a lot of space. So you're really, it's going to be very interesting.
So, dude, this is what I'm kind of getting at. Like, so take the first column, right, of guys, right? Those are all knowns. Those are all positive knowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then because I'm about to give you the formula. And then you take the second column, about 3/4 of those guys are positive knowns. Then as you get down to the third and fourth column, the fourth column are got all unknowns. And the third column is about 1/4 knowns, right? So if you take all of the positive knowns on our defense, right, and then you get half of the unknowns to become positive knowns, bro.
How many gnomes make two gnomes?
Two knowns make two knowns, but like
is there a positive negative gnome that gets the known to become a gnome and frozen in time?
Well, you figure when you look at our defense overall as a whole, how it's constructed, there's X number of knowns and there's X and Y number of unknowns, right? Now, what you want to do is you want to take X number of knowns plus Y number of plus.
All right, that's enough with this
set
bit.
of Y number of knowns of unknowns minus the number of possible positive knowns. And then you add that to the number of positive knowns now, and you will get the complete number of positive knowns that we could expect.
Man, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Real quick, Jason Sanders, the kicker. We've got a battle at punter right now between Stonehouse and Bailey. I think Bailey will pull through. Cardona, the long snapper. Malik Washington, the all-time kickoff and punt returner. D'Estridge, the backup. Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, guys that they'll have in relief. And the other kick
obviously sliding right back into the proper role before he suffered injury,
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Best kicker in the history of our team, still here. All right.
Yep. Everybody wants to fire him every year until he starts winning them games, and then they're like, You look at his percentage. Yeah, I get it. If you're asking him to make 55 or more, it's 50-50. But everything underneath the guy is 100%.
His make percentage for above 50 is the best in our history as well, bro.
Well, then I don't know what to say to these. Well, not above 50, yes, but I just said
no. What I'm saying is he has the number one make percentage of kicks above 50, like what they consider long distance.
I know that, but at the same time,
it might even be above 55.
At the same time, I feel like I don't know
what it feels like, and that's why everybody thinks we should get rid of it.
Because no. I want the stat on 55 yards and greater.
Well, all you got to do
percentages. Nah, I'm telling you,
I'm
that's where
telling you,
his
bro.
stat looks a little shaky.
I'm telling you, bro. He's
All
number
right,
one
well,
in
maybe
everything except for
no.
there is one category that Dan Carpenter is number one in, and that
Well,
might be overall long.
yeah, that's what it would be. Hit the like button, everybody. If you haven't already, if you're watching on X, Twitch, Twitter, wherever the hell you're watching, make sure you guys are coming over here to YouTube. Hit the like button. Also, guys, make sure you're checking out tftgnetwork.com. What's the breaking news?
Ladies and gentlemen, according to Gemini, Miami Dolphins kicker Jason Sanders has the highest recorded make percentage of field goals over 55 yards in franchise history. Brought to you by the Fins Tailgate. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. We only bring facts here. We don't
Yo,
peddle,
hitting the breaking news on it, Color, is
we don't
diabolical.
we don't peddle in feelings around here. We peddle in
Nope.
facts. And that is the fact, ladies and gentlemen.
And that is the fact. And with that fact, we turn the page to our next topic. Is there a locker room divide potentially on the horizon, Color? Is Tua and Tyreek about to tango? I mean, it has just not stopped all off season, all up to this point, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Hit the like button, Mystic. Hit the like button, Cap. Again, is this a locker room divide that is brewing?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I mean, man wearing the man's jersey, I don't know, bro. What's up with
Well,
that?
we're gonna get into that here in a minute, right? But so Tyreek Hill, as you guys know, he's been late to practice. Everyone's been talking about it. He's been kind of making light of it at the whatever press conference he's getting. He wasn't at practice on a excused absence the day that all of the Dolphins brass was there. All the big wigs, everybody that matters. Owner, management, GM, fucking all those guys. Tyreek Hill's not there. Well, the last practice that the Dolphins had scheduled, which was yesterday, Tyreek Hill was not at practice. He was excused. Now they said, hey, it's excused for, injury, yada, yada, yada. Lately, now it's coming out that they're saying it's small tissue, whatever nonsense. Well, then call it for what it is. Don't say he's out with an injury. Say it's a veteran rest day. What happened to saying that? We were so easy throwing around veteran rest day, veteran rest day, veteran. Teron Armstead don't play ever or practice ever. He's got veteran rest. This guy needs rest. He needs rest. Why aren't we saying it now? Why is it all a big secret? Why we got to speculate on Tyreek Hill? Can somebody tell me? What's with the speculations? Is this really what's happening? Him missing a whole practice because he's got some soreness? Soreness? Everybody's sore. It's only been a couple of practices. Homie, you've been late.
You see
You
what they're
missed the
doing here,
practice
bro?
already.
You see what they're doing here, though?
Tell me, Color.
Well, Tonk might be on to something. Says Tua versus Tyreek is a joke. And I think I understand what he means. Because think about it. It's
Well, he
like,
says also, yes, 100% divide. That's the culture. Little baby boy
Right.
chumps.
right, but also consider this, right? So I'm going to go off on a little side tangent here, just so you can
Tangent
understand.
away.
Just so you can understand what I mean. I was reading Mick Foley's book one time, right? I
Mick
forget.
Foley, the wrestler?
Yeah, Mick Foley, the wrestler. Yeah, I forget which
Okay.
one. He's got like 50 books, dude. The guy's like a bestseller, you know what I mean?
AKA
best-selling author.
Mankind. Go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, the dude's intelligent, man. Like
I met him.
CPA
I
and
met him once.
really.
In
Was it
the
before
town.
he got his ear ripped off, or
No, this was after. It was probably 2005, maybe.
okay.
So it
Was
was
this
right in the height of
before or
his
after he got left on the nude beach in Fort Lauderdale?
before.
Before, okay.
And I mean, the guy's a giant. I ran into him at it used to be a Blockbuster, but it was opened up as like a Christmas decoration store.
Oh, right.
And stuff like that. Like, kind of like how they have Halloween store. And I was in there and I'm like walking. I'm like, holy shit, it's fucking Mick Foley. And he was like, oh man. He's like, he came over, he shook my hand. He said, shh, quiet. I'm like cussing. There's families everywhere and shit. I was like, oh damn.
Can you please not cuss in front of the kids?
Well, no, he was like, hey man, yeah, what's up, buddy? He goes, he was right. There was kids all over. It just shocked me. I mean,
So anyway,
he's a giant. So
in his book, he had written how he had suffered a neck injury from getting pile driven on the concrete by Van
you
Vader.
don't say.
Yeah, and it put him out of this is a real injury. Put him out of wrestling for a while.
Yeah.
And the night he was supposed to come back, he was supposed to wrestle Van Vader, and the idea was, oh wow, he's wrestling the guy that
killed him.
Almost killed him. Right.
Yeah, I got you.
And so that night, he ended up getting pile driven on the concrete again by Van Vader and losing the match. Right. But he got up from the pile drive. He didn't break his neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So the way that he got up was all like theatrical. You know what I mean? You know how wrestlers are. Right. He plays the role perfectly. And he said he got back to the hotel room in anticipation. This was a WCW event. And he said he got back to the hotel room in anticipation to see how Bobby Heenan, and I think Shivani was with him or somebody, was gonna talk up the fact that it wasn't about that he lost the match or who won the match, the title. It was about that he got pile driven again by the same guy that broke his neck. And he was able to get up.
Yeah, it was getting over your fears type of situation.
That was the victory. You know what I mean? And when they downplayed it on the show, when he watched the replay of the show that night on TV at the hotel room, they basically downplayed it. And he said he knew his time at that moment, his time at WCW was over. That's when he knew. Anyway, that was right out of his book. But the point is that the idea behind wrestling sometimes, this fake sport that we all love to watch because of the drama, is that there's other victories besides the belt. The belt is meaningless. We all know it's scripted. We all know that it's fixed. It's sometimes in the case of back in the day, it was, oh my God, Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. It wasn't a matter of whether he won the match or not. The victory was that he body slammed Andre the Giant. Nobody had done that yet. Right? So this is the same thing here. This season is not about a playoff victory, going deeper in the playoffs, Tua finishing a whole season, winning the Super Bowl. It's not about any of that. It's about, can we get through a whole season and Tua and Tyreek be friends again? That's the victory this year, guys. That's what you're paying to watch this year, guys.
Damn, you're telling me that
Tyreek bury the hatchet and come together to get a good winning season in, even though we go nowhere with it.
Well, all right. I get where you're getting. I'm picking up what you're putting down. You're saying that this is the narrative because Tua's calling out Tyreek for reasons that he should, because he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be.
This is what we're going to tell ourselves when we're falling short again this year. We're going to be saying, they're going to be saying, well, at least Tua and Tyreek are friends again.
Yeah, at least Tua and Tyreek are going to see Disney on Ice together again. Thank God.
That ultimately was the goal of the season, and we're all good now to win next year.
Potentially, right? But I gotta.
Well, I mean, how many more times can they blame the defense? Can you blame the defensive roster we just looked at?
Well, I'm just wondering, right? How
given the trajectory that they're on, that they started showing last year, you know what I mean?
Can you blame the guy who was in 2023 the number one voted NFL player in the league in 2024, even in a down year? But even in a down year, he was 47th on that list. Well, Tua was 99th or whatever the hell it was, 97th. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what are we talking about? And is Tua in really a position to be calling out Tyreek and trying to be held accountable? Why? For his words? Tua wants Tyreek to be held accountable for his words, while Tua expects no accountability for his availability in playing the game. So I ask the people this. Which type of accountability are we after? Actions or words? Because his words said he wanted to quit. His actions said he stayed here. I'm just asking. What type of accountability are we trying to instill in this Miami Dolphins? Are we, you know, the pot can call the kettle black, but as long as it pipes up first, squeaky wheel gets the grease? Is that what we're doing? Because I think that Tyreek Hill behind closed doors, as we all have kind of heard, has been, you know, kind of a little down on the toughness of this team. While he's out here playing with an injured wrist all year, life and limb. And yeah, at the end of the year in a game they weren't going to win, while their quarterback's sitting with some soreness on his ribs, according to the
always poured the praises on, and now is being seen wearing a Tua jersey and all that, dude. Because the guy, maybe I'm not speaking for him. This is a complete opinion of mine, and this is only an if. If, let's say for a second, that Tyreek Hill just genuinely didn't like Tua's personality and has never really gotten along with him. In other words, maybe they've never really hit it off and been friends, right? If that's the case, then you know, it makes sense to me that you know, it becomes a matter of, yeah, these are words, you know, like Tyreek Hill. So what I was saying was Tyreek Hill, from that perspective, committed the ultimate cardinal sin, and it's starting to leak out,
breaking character of the WWE script.
It doesn't matter how much he says Tua is better than Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't matter how many Tua jerseys Tyreek puts on. Okay, none of that matters. It's getting leaked out slowly but surely that Tyreek Hill might possibly not like Tua as a person. This idea that Tua is this perfect individual that everybody loves. Well, maybe Tyreek doesn't. And if that's starting to be found out slowly but surely, no matter how many Tua jerseys he wears, that is the cardinal sin. Not liking Tua, bro. You make that sin in this organization, bro, and you're done. And that's why the fans have turned on him. That's why you have questions from Carla in tonight's chat. Like, does anybody really like Tyreek?
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, it's why the
Well, how about the
fans
question
have
is, does
found a
anybody
common
really like
ground.
Tua,
Color.
or are they all they just or are they all just going through the motions?
Well, but by what you're saying too, and I find it extremely interesting. And I keep asking people. I talk to people in
I'd like to.
spaces and
I'm
stuff
sorry,
like
Cap.
that.
I'd like to ask Mike Jasecki that question that I just asked. Are they all just going through the motions?
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know, but I've talked to people in spaces and stuff like that a little bit about this subject, and I'm just kind of surprised that everybody's surprised by Tyreek Hill acting like Tyreek Hill, who he's been the same guy his entire career going back to college. Extremely explosive, hell of a freaking baller on the field, but off the field, going to put his foot in his mouth, going to say some things, going to do some things that is a black eye to the organization. But all of a sudden, the Dolphin fans unanimously in the community are all in agreement. Tyreek Hill's got to go. They don't want him here no more. They want this team to hold him accountable, like Tua said. And I find it funny. The Tua sexuals are at lockstep in narrative against Tyreek with the people that say, "Well, I want I want Tua up out of here too." But I don't think you guys are really understanding what you're saying. Every time you find yourself in a lockstep absolute with another thing, it's just it's an echo chamber. Everybody's on the same. Then that's ultimately what's going to happen, but it's never really the true problem. You want to run out the one gold jacket member in here, and they're going to let you do it to then say, "Hey, it's Tua. It was Tua or Tyreek, and we picked Tua."
Well,
And,
to the
and you're
people,
going to be that's what's happening.
to
I
the people
see
that
it.
are to the people that are trying to that are feeling like they're being fair by treating Bolt the same. Have you considered that Tyreek wouldn't be acting this way if he didn't feel trapped by a guy that he really doesn't like?
I mean,
Do we know if Tyreek would be acting this way? Usually,
No.
when you're in an uncomfortable situation, a la a job you don't like, usually it manifests in things like you're late to work, you don't do extra,
Yeah, it's not all for nothing.
I mean,
You,
consider how much of this would be happening or not happening if Tua would not even be on this team.
well, look, I would say it was going to happen no matter what because he had Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid win his Super Bowls.
Right. Well, exactly. Maybe Tyreek Hill is treating the situation
He would anybody else.
Listen, maybe Tyreek Hill is treating this situation that he finds himself in Miami with as much respect as it deserves.
Thank you, Color. I knew you would exactly come because Tyreek Hill, and I have it written in my notes right over here. Tyreek Hill is exactly.
Fuck out of here without late to practice. He's given as much as he's getting.
And it's exactly what we purchased with him, right? His actions, his words, his inactions. I'm held to the same standards, Tyreek Hill. I'm held to the same standards that you're holding Tua to. Exactly. And that's it. You want to hold me to different standards? You want to hold me to different accountability? And then I want to see everyone locked in step in that. I don't see fans unified right now. I don't see fans unified right now saying, get rid of Tyreek Hill, get rid of Tua. They're saying, get rid of Tyreek Hill, unified.
Right.
And here's what is this a little gamesmanship from Tyreek Color?
Feel ashamed about, and the ones that feel ashamed about saying get rid of Tyreek have to say, well, I believe we should get rid of Tua as well. Those people is who I'm talking to. Consider that none of this would be going on if we had a real leader at quarterback, if we had somebody that Tyreek Hill respected at quarterback, coach, and owner.
And well, no, because he disrespected the owners and stuff in Kansas City. My point is, Color,
That's
is that
a different level. That's on a
you know what you purchased. Now, if you want to have the argument that I don't want the Tyreek Hill types on my football team and I want an accountable football team and that's who we should be all along and we should have never brought him here, I'm in agreement with that statement. The problem is that's not the team we have. That's not what we brought in. And now we're still doing what we've always been doing. But you want to blame Tyreek for being what he is.
Nor are we showing the accountability that we're expecting out of him.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I expect. Why don't everyone else expect it, Color? That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. First of all, where's the accountability for not winning a playoff game the last 5 seasons? Oh, wait a minute. How about the last 20-something?
How about this, Color? Where's the fucking accountability where Tua's not playing in the last game of the season when it's a win and in scenario against the fucking Jets, no less? Where's his accountability? Tyreek Hill was out there and said, fuck this. This bitch ain't out here. This team can't win without him, and I'm fucking tired of it.
Where's Waddle's accountability for dropping 3 footballs in a playoff?
Or any of that. Again, to me, you want to be held people accountable.
What about the fact that our star wide receiver dropped 3 footballs? I don't give a damn who the quarterback throwing to him is.
Yeah, that could have been a playoff win by Skylar Thompson. Man, oh man, how the out of Tua sexuals would have melted down. And Skylar's not the answer. Let's call it for what it is. But I'm whatever. I'm not interested in having that debate.
That was never the point.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't the point. But we don't hold Jalen Waddle accountable.
We don't hold Tua responsible. You know, it don't matter if you're good anymore. It just matters if you're liked.
If you're liked. Yep. Doesn't matter if you're good anymore. It matters if you're liked. Matters if you're a sellable asset to the dumbest fans I've ever seen in my life. These Dolphin fans have gotten, for not all of them, but they have gotten so off the reservation with how ignorant and dumb that they are, that they think that when they listen to people that break down film and do all these things, yes, you're learning some football stuff, right? But they're not taking into any of the account of how football's actually won. The teams that win the Super Bowl or even get there, those dudes are locked in as a team. They're holding each other accountable. They're grinding the midnight oil. They're texting each other and emailing each other things they're noticing. They're so involved. Everything is about winning that Super Bowl. That's how it fucking happens. Now, sometimes you have the Patriots with a coach and a quarterback that's all they're here for. Yeah, the money, they need to get paid for their job, but that's all they're here for. They're here for making their mark in history. And anyone who's not on board is easy to identify, because if you ain't getting in line, you're getting the fuck out of line. That's it. And here, we want to hold these ones in line. We want everyone to pretend to be Zach Sealer, but act like fucking Tyreek Hill. And we want to hold them all to the standards of a quarterback that is sitting out for these reasons and that reasons. I'm sick of it. And the fans are so distracted by the freaking carrot on a stick given to him. Tyreek Hill isn't liked. We got to dislike him. He's the next body served up for the fucking fans to take the head off. That's all it is. He's the next excuse on why things didn't work. And now it's going to be better. We're going to get better. They're going to sell this organization. This organization is going to sell to the fans that they have addition by subtraction because Tyreek Hill is gone.
Yeah, but
that's a fucking dumbass if you believe that. You're a fucking dumbass if you believe
nobody here is hearing what we're saying, Cap. All they're hearing is TFTG is hating on Tua. TFTG
and love
is hating on Tua. That's all they hear.
Fucking dorks. That's what they're hearing. They're hearing we hate Tua and love Tyreek. And I'm saying get them all up out of here. But not to get the next fucking douchebag up in here.
No, I don't say get Tyreek up out of here. I say get everybody but Tyreek up out of here.
He's the only guy that's going to wear a gold jacket.
How about make Tyreek the head coach?
Yeah, let's do that.
At least then the head coach carries the image of what your organization is about.
100%. Now, I love this too, right? Because there's this speculation on Tyreek Hill getting traded, and I certainly could see him getting traded, right? Because again, whether they trade him and try to sell addition by subtraction, or at the end of the year they move off, to me, it's painfully obvious that they've already got the script written. Everyone's just playing their part. That's it. Everybody's playing a part. Just like Shakespeare said, everyone's doing cinematic nonsense. So if Tua and Tyreek are in this cinematic back and forth, this what's it called, Color? What was the quote? I can't remember, but everyone's playing a part in a movie is essentially it. Well, what do we call this? Tell me that with all the heat given to Tyreek, all the question by the fans of the literal title of this show, a divide in the locker room potentially between Tua and Tyreek, how this isn't either A, by Tyreek, probably most certainly by Tyreek, or B, by the organization, absolute propaganda. You're telling me he's whipping out a fucking Tua Tagovailoa perfectly creased brand new jersey to wear on the
Yeah, but
freaking
there's
wave
something
into
about that jersey. I don't know if you noticed.
what's that? Is his name spelled wrong?
Look
Nope.
at the aqua.
Yeah, it's the fake colors. That's what it
No,
is.
no,
Yeah,
it's not fake. It's about 2 years old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the old one.
Which means highly discounted.
Or it could be that he pulled it out of his closet and dusted it off.
Right,
all
it's
the
his
cotton
kid.
balls.
It's the one he gave to his kid.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, again,
I
the
agree with-
propaganda is in full force, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was about to say.
The propaganda is in full force. Now, here's the question: is this propaganda to get Tua back in Tyreek Hill's good graces, or is this propaganda to take heat off of Tyreek and the organization while other things are really moving? Or is this a deliberate spit in the eye from Tyreek Hill to Tua?
For Tyreek, that's what he's saying. He's saying right there, this all what you want me to do. This is what I'll do.
It's a spit in the eye of the organization. We loved you, Tyreek, when you weren't quitting on us and you were telling everybody in the world that Tua was the greatest quarterback. We don't like Tyreek Hill that comes out and says he picks Baker Mayfield and 4 other quarterbacks over Tua and wants to choke coach out and needs a team because he's got a legacy and wants to win Super Bowls and be the greatest one day and doesn't feel like that's going to happen with Tua. So, but now here he is going, all right, you need your good little soldier. You purchase not just the play on the field, but the lies at the podium and the lies off the field.
Well, as we talked about before the show in private, when I brought up the reference to Sun Tzu, this is Art of War right here. Again, it's like when two sides are posturing for war and they're shaking each other's hands saying that they're working towards peace, we both know what that means. As soon as the war started, Tyreek decided to face his enemy this way. And to me, this is basically, in other words, this is walking out to the battlefield wearing your enemy's uniform. You know what I mean? You wouldn't know what to expect out of that. But here's the thing: what all of this is propaganda for is the propaganda here is, look, everybody, Tyreek is submitting to the will of Tua's leadership.
That's right.
I can give you a different angle, and it kind of goes along with what El Cap was saying about spitting in his face, right? So now, you want to keep me accountable? Is this Tyreek's way of keeping Tua accountable?
Well, yes, Ali, that's what I mean. That's where the Sun Tzu reference comes in, because what he's doing is he's saying, look, I'm going to show up on time. I'm going to be the Tyreek you all want me to be. And it starts with wearing this jersey. So guess what, big boy? It's on you now, Tua.
Because now you can't say that, he's playing the cheerleader. I'm going to be your rah-rah guy, Tua. It's on you, bro. It's on you. And that's
Right.
basically
Try throwing me under the bus after this year. You're going to be exposed for the fraud you are, because I ain't the fraud. Matter of fact, I got paid to come in here and be a fraud. So that's what I'm doing.
So, well, I just think that this is a way of him playing the same game that Tua is at him, playing it back at him. That's basically how I see it.
You're absolutely right, bro.
So I just put a poll question here because there's quite a bit, and everybody hit the like button because this is a good one here. What are Hill's intentions? Is it trolling Tua, spiteful? Is it submitting to Tua, and that basically I'm doing what you want? Or is
That's what
it
it's meant to look like.
Or is it playing nice to boost trade stock? Tyreek Hill's saying, look, I got to show all these other organizations I can be a good boy. I can put the quarterback on. Hold on, Color. Think about it. I can
because none of them organizations care. Every one of them organizations know what you and I know right now, bro.
This is the only organization that needs a young quarterback to get the stamp of approval from.
Give a fuck what his relationship is.
You don't care.
Nobody in this league cares about Tua, bro.
Color.
Nobody.
That's not how I'm looking at it. What if Caleb Williams is that the fans are 50-50 on Caleb Williams? When you bring in Tyreek Hill, his play on the field and his lip service at the podium is worth something to teams. They do it every year to these young quarterbacks. We've seen it done here.
But they already know he can do that.
Yeah, but I got it.
He's already done that.
But he did it for us. I'm saying that he's handling this and boosting his trade stock. I'm just saying. No. And then the final thing you can pick on the poll is he actually really means it. That this is all true intention. We're just overreading it and everything like that.
There ain't no chance in hell of that, bro.
Well, it's on there.
You know why?
So
because
guys, get your votes in. We want to know.
There is no way in hell he'd be cucking himself like this to Tua, bro.
Is Tyreek Hill trolling Tua out of spite?
Yes,
is he submitting to Tua by basically saying I'll do whatever the Dolphins want, or is he playing nice to boost his draft capital to get a potential another bag from another team, or does he really mean?
Well, ask yourself this: all of what he's said about Tua since he's been in the building for the last couple seasons, been totally supportive of him. Propped him up, say, yeah, we can win. He does this and that. He does this and that so well, blah, 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 right? Why would he need to put on a jersey and show us all this?
I don't know. You tell me.
I didn't realize we had to be convinced. Hold on. I didn't realize we had to be convinced that that Tyreek Hill liked Tua. In other words, I thought the issue with Tyreek Hill being a standout or, contract, all that stuff, not the question of whether he was going to get traded this offseason, whether he still wanted to be with the team, all of that. That's what I thought it was all about. Now he's putting on a Tua jersey as if the whole beef has been about he ain't down with Tua no more. And now he is.
And it's kind of, I'm glad you brought that up, Color, because a lot of the people in the fan base, and we know who they are, forget that no person on this team has put Tua up there more than he has. He put his entire reputation on the line.
Right. So Ali, if the fences have gotten mended, according to what I've been watching, the broken fences were between him and the organization. So just wearing his own jersey out in public would have made that statement that I'm now a team player again.
That's true.
Why did it have to be Tua's jersey?
100%. Why is it not Waddle's jersey? I see people in the chat.
Or a nondescript Dolphin a sweatsuit or something. A hat with the number 10 on it. I'm with this organization. I'm not wearing a plain blue Nike hat. Why did it have to be a Tua jersey? As if to tell everybody, mainly the Tua hate. First of all, the Tuaneers, you still got your boy Tyreek. Quit hating on me. And then to the Tua haters, yo, you got to get on board with Tua. Why do we need to be told that? Again and again and again and again. Why is it a constant campaign to convince the fans that the team likes Tua?
Talk about it, color. Turn up.
That's a lot of calories put into that effort.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean,
why?
I don't need to like somebody to get the job done. You heard?
There's only one way I'm convinced whether a player is good or not. And Tyreek knows that.
Damn. Color cooking. Hit the like button, everybody.
I mean,
we're gonna move. We're gonna let this. I had one more thing I wanted
everything
to
was
talk
perfectly
about.
fine between the two.
I had one more thing I wanted to talk about, but I think we'll end the show on the Tua thing, and we'll save. Well, actually, no. We'll bring this last little tidbit for the next 10, 15 minutes. Is if there isn't a rift of brewing between Tyreek Hill and say week 1 comes and goes, or say he's not going anywhere, right? Say he decides that. I mean, listen, no one's really controlling Tyreek. Like, yes, he does what they ask. He'll wear the Tua jersey and say all the right things at the podium. But let's not act like his true feelings don't surface. And if he sees an opportunity, at least even in the very minimum, he sees a better opportunity to win football games. Could this issue really present itself with the coming of Quinn Ewers? Could Tyreek Hill throw his support behind Quinn Ewers? And would the team and organization do something like that? Tua goes down, and Zach is barely keeping. I mean, look, we're going to see Quinn Ewers play today, and then they're going to talk to the team or play tomorrow or this Sunday, excuse me. And if he plays well and does some stuff, people are going to talk about it. Could this be something? Or am I just pulling at nothing? I know Ali thinks Quinn Ewers is a bum and he'll do nothing ever. But by all accounts, he's played extremely well.
I get you. I get you that he's playing extremely well. But I also have, what is it called? PTSD from when we had Skylar Thompson, who did the same thing.
I got you.
What I'm saying?
I agree.
And I get that, this kid was a guy that a lot of people at one point thought he would be the.
But I think Quinn Ewers automatically works in this system, though. Played it.
You're absolutely right. That's what makes it better, because he's worked in the system before, and he really is. And I hate using this term, but the Texas fans even call him this. They call him the right-handed Tua for a reason, because he is almost a mimic of Tua. The type of throws he makes,
with a little bit better running ability and a little bit tougher runner downfield too.
I'm going to tell you right now, he doesn't have the run. He has slightly better running ability than Tua, slightly.
Yeah. And what about concussions? How about that, Ali? Who's got the edge in concussions?
Before, but not concussions.
Okay. Everybody gets injured in football.
Yeah.
There's not, Jalen Phillips and Tua Tagovailoa are the only guys I count on to get injured every year.
And even Color himself went, because I told him, go look at what people say about his scouting evaluation. Because people,
I agree.
Why I'm down on this guy, especially since he played for Ohio State at one point. Everyone thinks I should love him, right? Well, it even says verbatim, hasn't been the same since high school.
I know.
What am I?
Guess what? By all accounts out here, he's got some zip on it. There's eyewitness of people we know. Ewers is playing well. And in this system, you're not asked to be Aaron Rodgers with the ball in your arms. You're asked to be Tua Tagovailoa. We're not asking him to hit freaking lasers 60 yards down the field. In this system, outside of him being right-handed, it's tailor-made for his skill set. In which case, all things being equal, left hand, right hand.
So
just saying.
I get what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but just because you remove the circle only to replace it with the circle, I don't think it's going to be anything better.
I don't think so either. But you know what it can be at the minimum? Cheaper. Could definitely be cheaper.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be.
You know what it could be?
Yeah,
you know what it could be? It could be extremely better if the guy's playing every single week and never going down, and you're not you got a backup quarterback for break glass case of emergency, not 2 backup quarterbacks because you know you fucking need them.
I gotcha.
See what I'm saying? When you talk about addition from subtraction, and we're talking about Tyreek Hill, I'm looking at addition from subtraction. One of these other quarterbacks work out, and Tua ain't here for the money.
For me,
for
it's
the injuries.
This way, though, El Cap. For me, it's this. I'll give viewers a chance. I really will. Right? If they want to go with him, I'll give him a chance. But I'm not giving him no 7-year plan chance. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to give anyone more than you get it together in 2 years, or you get it the fuck up out of here on year 3.
Yeah,
That's it.
I agree. None of this 7-year project anymore.
I'm over 7-year projects, bro. I'm 100%, over it.
100%.
I'm over it. Hit the like button, everybody. My point about this is that if Tyreek Hill is just playing nice, and if, he's doing this back and forth, just remember that when everyone talks about accountability and all this stuff, there is no true accountability on this football team. There's not. Because here's who's keeping the accountability on this team. Now, I don't know. Does anyone know who that is? Does anybody know who that is in the picture right there? I don't know if anyone, can you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone could tell.
Well, I was going to ask if that's Mike McDaniel with his ankle monitor that he had from when he got busted for his DUI.
Holy shit. Damn. Ali. Off the top rope. Holy cow. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sorry. This year, bro, I'm coming in guns blazing. I don't care.
I'm
bro.
here for it. Again,
for anybody. I'm sorry.
I'm over it, buddy. I am over it. Again, I like Mike McDaniel, but if you're wondering why Tyreek Hill is tripping, why Tyreek Hill is getting away with stuff, why Tua can sit here and point at Tyreek Hill and say, we need to hold him accountable. Meanwhile, no one's holding him accountable for shit. You know what they tell this kid? You know what they tell Tua? This is what they tell him. What they need him to do is to not play so hard. That's what they fucking tell this guy. We want you to throw the ball away and not try to make moves with the ball in your hands as a runner. We want you to live to fight another down. That is such a reflection of the everybody gets a trophy, participation. No criticism on you, baby. The only thing we need from you is to just not try too hard anymore. That is such an insult to not just him, but to everyone who buys it. You all are allowing yourselves to ride on a narrative for 3 years now that Tua needs to gain some weight, lose some weight, but all he really needs to do is just get rid of the football to protect himself. This is football, baby. Yeah, protect yourself. Don't be dumb. But he's taken none of these injuries behind the line. All of them with him running. And if you can't run with the football, you can't do anything. If you're a behind the pocket passer, that's it. You're a pocket passer. You have no ability to run. Then you better possess an arm that can bail you out. A flick of the wrist and get up to 40 yards on that flick. So where the walls have caved in on you and you can still see over everybody and get rid of it and make something happen as everyone's like Ben Roethlisberger. You know what I'm saying? Big dude. You don't even have to be that big, but all of those things, you can't not have an elite arm and not run and be a quarterback that does anything in this NFL. Being a accurate timing pocket passer. You need 2 out of the 3 things desired at quarterback. Dynamic with the ball in his hands as a runner, elite arm talent, accurate pocket passer. You need 2 out of those 3. And it's usually the team that shows up to the Super Bowl and has the guy that has 3 out of those 3 or 2 out of those 3 while the other one only has 1. You could bet right on that. You could bet right away that that's the one that wins. My point of all of it is that we want to hold everyone accountable here, and I'm for it. As a community, as a team, as a new way going forward with the Miami Dolphins. Tougher, stronger, all that. But I'm telling everybody right now, serving up Tyreek Hill as the next sacrificial lamb, the next poster boy to be the guy they run out of town and we get addition by subtraction. And we're a better football team without it. That is a narrative I will never personally believe in because it's just not true. And everyone could think it. I get where a lot of people are coming from with wanting Tyreek gone, with the reasonings behind it. Hey, Nene. But this isn't an organization. And shout out to Nene. She said this the other day. Tyreek Hill is the new Jimmy Butler in South Florida. And I can agree with that to some extent. The problem is the Miami Dolphins are not the Heat. And the Heat are an organization that is known for culture, accountability amongst everybody. They get accountable with Shaq. They get accountable with LeBron James. They've held the highest stars with the highest standards that are Miami. The Dolphins have played favorites to everybody. And look no further to how the accountability of what Tua needs to get better at doing is not doing everything with the football, only playing within the confines of the offense, timing or throw it away. Don't run with it. Don't friggin' hold on to it too long. Don't try to throw the ball down the field, by scrambling around. Do none of that. Don't scramble. Don't run. Don't try to use your arm strength to win. Just throw these fucking passes I call for you in this timing route. And if they're not there, throw them away. I'm not playing it. It's dumb as hell. It's dumb as hell.
Just real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt, but prayers go out to the quarterback of the Colts, by the way.
Oh my God, Anthony Richardson really went down hard, huh?
He took a hit and he did the thing that Tua did with his fingers, like really bad. So just so you guys know, prayers go out to him.
Yeah, that sucks, man. Anthony Richardson, which by what I was hearing is really, he was winning the battle against Daniel Jones, which got to be honest, that isn't saying much. But that sucks, dude. But that's it for today. You guys got anything you want to say before we go? Oh, let me see the results of the poll. Oh, it's a landslide, boys. It's a landslide.
What they said?
It's 56% that Tyreek Hill is trolling Tua. Yeah. And then the only you could add up all the other 3 choices and they don't even make up half. So
I did have one more thing. Let's see if I forgot what it was though exactly. I may report on it later, but let me see if I can find it real quick. Where did it go? Where did it go?
You have 1 minute exactly to find it.
It might have been on Twitter, but the gist of it is apparently President Trump has appointed Tua as the health and fitness guy.
Czar or some shit. Good. I think he should be the health and fitness star. So he has something to do when we get him up out of here this year.
It's the Health and Fitness Council. There's like 5 or 6 people. Saquon
Good for you, Tua.
No, he said no to it. Supposedly.
Good for Tua. I'm glad he took it. I think it's awesome. We know he's a Trump supporter. I like that, he's partaking in some kind of appointee position for any president, not just Trump. I think that's an admirable thing. But I will say this, it's good he's got this job, because after after the Dolphins get him up out of here in the next year or so, he'll have to have a job somewhere. Hit the like button on your way out, guys. Subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you all next time. Fins up.